Emma sat at the kitchen table, absent-mindedly stirring her coffee. The morning sunlight filtered through the curtains, casting a warm glow across the room. Her thoughts were a whirlwind of excitement and uncertainty as she reflected on the events of the past week. A letter from a solicitor had arrived out of the blue, informing her that she was the sole heir to a distant relative's vast fortune. It felt like something out of a fairy tale. Her fiancé, Tom, strolled into the kitchen, his hair tousled from sleep. He planted a kiss on Emma's forehead and reached for the coffee pot. "Morning, love. You look deep in thought. Everything okay?" Emma hesitated, her fingers tapping rhythmically on the table. "Just thinking about some family stuff. Nothing major." Tom raised an eyebrow but didn't press further. "Well, I've got a meeting with a new client today. Hopefully, it'll turn into a big project for the firm." Emma smiled, admiring Tom's ambition. He was always so driven, so focused on his career. "Good luck with that. I'm sure you'll impress them." As Tom left for work, Emma's mind drifted back to the inheritance. She knew she needed to tell Tom, but she wanted to ensure his love for her was genuine and not influenced by the sudden wealth. Her family had suggested a test, and though it felt deceitful, she couldn't shake the idea. Later that evening, Emma met her mother, Julia, for dinner. The restaurant was bustling, but they managed to find a quiet corner booth. Julia was a practical woman, always offering sage advice. "Have you thought about what I suggested?" Julia asked, her eyes searching Emma's face. Emma nodded slowly. "I have. It feels wrong to deceive Tom, but I need to know if he loves me for who I am, not for the money." Julia leaned forward, her expression serious. "Relationships are built on trust, but sometimes a little test can reveal the truth. Just be careful, Emma. Be prepared for any outcome." Emma took a deep breath, her resolve strengthening. "I'll do it. I'll create a scenario where Tom believes he's come into money and see how he reacts." The next day, Emma put her plan into action. She bought a fake lottery ticket and slipped it into Tom's wallet. That evening, as they relaxed on the couch, she casually mentioned finding an old lottery ticket while cleaning. "Why don't you check if it's a winner?" she suggested, her heart pounding. Tom laughed. "Sure, but I doubt it's worth anything." He scratched the ticket, his eyes widening in shock. "Emma, we've won. This is incredible." Emma feigned surprise, her stomach churning with guilt. "Oh my God, Tom. That's amazing." Tom's excitement was palpable. He immediately started talking about all the things they could do with the money. "We could buy a new house, go on that vacation we've always dreamed of, and I could finally quit my job." Emma listened, forcing herself to smile. "That all sounds wonderful, Tom." As the days passed, Emma watched Tom closely. He became more secretive, often stepping out to take phone calls and making large purchases without consulting her. His enthusiasm for their future seemed to be overshadowed by his newfound wealth. One evening, as they sat down for dinner, Tom's phone buzzed. He glanced at the screen and excused himself, leaving Emma alone at the table. She felt a pang of loneliness, the distance between them growing with each passing day. Later that night, Emma confronted Tom. "Tom, I've noticed you've been different lately. Is everything okay?" Tom sighed, running a hand through his hair. "It's just the stress of handling this money, Emma. There's so much to think about, and I don't want to burden you with it." Emma's heart sank. "We're a team, Tom. You don't have to do this alone." He smiled weakly, but the tension remained. The next week, Emma's brother, James, visited. He was always protective of her and skeptical of Tom. "So, how's it going with the lottery winnings?" he asked, his tone casual but his eyes sharp. Emma sighed. "I'm not sure. Tom's been acting strange, and it's like he's shutting me out." James frowned. "Be careful, Emma. People change when money's involved. Just make sure you know what you're getting into and make sure he does not have access to your actual inheritance." "I haven't actually received it yet. It takes a while for all of the legal stuff. We have a small joint household account. Other than that, he can't access any of my money." It had been 2 weeks since Tom discovered the fake lottery ticket, and their lives had taken a strange turn. Tom's initial excitement had morphed into something else, something darker and more unsettling. Her thoughts were interrupted by the sound of the front door opening. "Hey, love," he said, his tone flat. Later that evening, "Tom, I've been thinking about the lottery money. Maybe we should sit down and plan how to use it together." Tom's face tightened. "I've already got some ideas. There's a lot to consider, and I don't want to burden you with the details." Emma's heart sank. "Tom, we're partners. I want to be involved." Tom sighed, rubbing his temples. "I know, Emma. It's just complicated." The tension in the room was palpable. Emma decided to change the subject. "By the way, my brother James is coming over for dinner tomorrow. He wants to catch up." Tom's expression shifted to one of annoyance. "James? Again? He was just here last week." Emma bristled at his tone. "He's my brother, Tom. He cares about us." Tom muttered something under his breath and stood up. "I need to make a call. I'll be in the study." The next evening, James arrived, bringing a sense of warmth and familiarity that Emma desperately needed. They settled around the dinner table, making small talk and enjoying the meal. Tom was unusually quiet, his eyes flickering between Emma and James. "So, Tom," James said casually, "how's the lottery win treating you?" Tom's jaw clenched. "It's fine. Should be receiving it soon. Just a lot of responsibility." James raised an eyebrow. "Surely, Emma's helping you with it?" Tom shot Emma a warning look. "Like I said, it's complicated." James didn't miss a beat. "Well, I hope you're not letting it come between you two. Money can be a tricky thing." Emma saw the flicker of anger in Tom's eyes and decided to intervene. "James, let's not talk about the lottery tonight. It's been a long week." After dinner, Emma pulled James aside. They stepped into the living room, and Emma closed the door behind them. "James, I'm worried about Tom. He's been acting strange since the lottery win. Secretive. Distant." James frowned and leaned in, his voice low. "I've seen him around town with a woman. Not just once, but a few times. It could be innocent, but—" Emma's stomach dropped. "Why didn't you tell me sooner?" James sighed. "I didn't want to upset you without knowing more." The next day, Emma decided to follow Tom. Tom left for work as usual. He drove to a small cafe on the outskirts of town. Emma parked her car and watched as Tom entered the cafe. A few minutes later, a woman joined him. They talked animatedly, and Tom's demeanor was entirely different, relaxed, even happy. Emma's heart ached at the sight. As she watched them, she noticed something odd. The woman handed Tom an envelope, and he slipped it into his pocket, looking around nervously. Back at home, she needed to confront Tom, but she didn't know how. When he returned that evening, she decided to wait for the right moment. Emma took a deep breath. "I went out today. Followed you to the cafe." Tom's face paled. "What? Why would you do that? Who is she, Tom? What's going on?" Tom's eyes darted around the room, searching for an escape. "It's not what you think, Emma. She's a business contact. We're working on a deal." "And the envelope?" Tom's shoulders slumped. "It's money. For an investment. I didn't want to worry you." "You're lying, Tom. I can see it in your eyes. What are you hiding from me?" Tom's face twisted with frustration. "You don't understand, Emma. I'm trying to protect us. The money, it's complicated. Just let me handle everything." She heard the front door open and close, signaling Tom's return from another late-night meeting. Emma steeled herself, ready for the confrontation she had been avoiding. Tonight, she needed answers. Tom walked into the bedroom, looking exhausted but exhilarated. "Hey, babe. Sorry I'm late. Another long day at the office." Emma stood up. "Tom, we need to talk." Tom looked at her, his brow furrowing. "Sure, what's up?" Emma took a deep breath. "It's about the lottery money. We're partners, Tom. Or at least, I thought we were, and you're shutting me out." Tom rubbed his temples, his frustration evident. "You don't understand, Emma. There are things you don't know, things I didn't want to burden you with." Emma's eyes narrowed. "What things, Tom? What aren't you telling me?" Tom stood up abruptly, pacing the room. "I've been talking to some investors, trying to make sure we make smart decisions with the money. I didn't want to worry you until I had everything figured out." "So, you've been making decisions behind my back?" This was supposed to be our win, our future. Now you shut me out like this? Tom took a step towards her, his voice softening. Do you trust me, Emma? I'm sorry if I made you feel otherwise. I wanted to handle this the right way. I need to know everything, Tom. No more secrets. Tom nodded, taking her hand. All right. I promise. No more secrets. As they talked late into the night, Emma felt a small glimmer of hope. Maybe they could get through this after all. But as the days passed, she couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to Tom's story. One afternoon, Emma's brother James called her.
Hey, sis.
I've been doing some digging. Meet me at the cafe on Elm Street. It's important. When she arrived at the cafe, James was already there, a stack of papers in front of him. Tom's been making large transfers to a private account. It doesn't make sense for someone who's supposedly managing a lottery win he hasn't received yet. What does this mean, James? It means Tom's hiding something, and I think it's time you found out what. That evening, when Tom walked through the door, she met him with the documents in hand. Care to explain these? She asked, her voice trembling. Tom's face went pale. Emma, I can explain. Then start explaining, Emma said, her anger barely contained. Tom took a deep breath. I have borrowed some money and I've been investing it. I didn't want to tell you because I didn't want you to worry if things went wrong. Everything is going really well. We are already making money on the lottery winning and we haven't received it yet. This is great. Emma's eyes filled with tears. You lied to me, Tom. You said no more secrets, but you're still hiding things. Tom looked away, his jaw tightening. Maybe I just need some space. Some time to figure things out. Emma felt a cold chill run down her spine. Space? What does that mean? Tom stood up, pacing the room. I don't know, Emma. Maybe this money has made me realize that I need to reassess my priorities. Emma's heart ached. Are you saying you don't want to be with me anymore? Tom stopped, his face conflicted. I don't know what I'm saying. I just need time. Tom left the room, leaving Emma alone with her thoughts. She called her brother, James, and explained the situation. An hour later, James arrived. Emma, I did some digging. Tom's been talking to a financial advisor about setting up an account in his name only. He's planning something. That night, Emma waited for Tom to come home. When he finally walked through the door, she was ready. Tom, we need to talk. Now. Tom looked exhausted, but he nodded. Okay, what's this about? Emma took a deep breath. I know you've been talking to a financial advisor. I know you're planning something without me. Tom's face paled. Emma, I can explain. Then explain, Emma demanded, her voice trembling with anger and fear. Tom sank into a chair, his shoulders slumped. I thought maybe I could use the money to start fresh, to build something on my own. Without me? You were planning to leave me? Tom looked up, his eyes filled with regret. No, I don't know. Everything is so confusing right now. The money, the future. I just needed to figure things out. Emma's voice was icy. You're lying, Tom. You were going to leave me. Take the money and run. Tom stood up, anger flashing in his eyes. And what if I was? What if I realized that maybe we're not meant to be together? That maybe this money showed me a different path? Then you're a coward, because you couldn't face me and tell me the truth. You had to hide and lie. Maybe I am, but I didn't know what else to do. As Tom packed his bags, Emma felt a strange sense of relief. The man she thought she loved had been revealed to be someone she didn't recognize. The money had been a test, and Tom had failed. Emma knew she had to have one last confrontation with Tom and tell him about the lottery winnings and the inheritance. Tom, we need to talk. Can you come over? Tom came over that evening. What now, Emma? I've had a long day. Emma crossed her arms, her gaze unwavering. It's about the money. Tom sighed. What about it? I thought we agreed I'd handle the money. We didn't agree on anything, Tom. You've been making decisions without me, spending recklessly, and keeping secrets. The money is mine too. Tom sat up, his eyes flashing with irritation. I'm not spending recklessly. I'm investing in my/our future. And it's my money, Emma. I want it. It's supposed to be our money. We were a team. How are you purchasing all of this stuff? I borrowed against the winnings, and I have investors. The money will arrive in days now. Emma felt her heart skip a beat. This was it, the moment of truth. Tom, it's not your money. The lottery ticket was fake. Tom's face froze, confusion flickering in his eyes. What do you mean, fake? Emma took a deep breath, steeling herself. The lottery win was a test. I wanted to see how you would handle a sudden windfall, how you would treat me and our relationship. I never expected you to shut me and take the money and run. Tom's expression hardened, his voice low and dangerous. So, you've been playing games with me? Testing me? It wasn't a game, Tom. It was a way to see if I could trust you, if you would be honest with me. And you failed. Tom stood up, his fists clenched. I can't believe this. You lied to me, and now you're accusing me of being dishonest? This is insane. I didn't lie. I created a scenario to reveal the truth about our relationship. The truth is, I inherited a significant amount of money from a distant relative. I wanted to see if you would share your supposed winnings with me, if you would be honest and open. But instead, you kept secrets, made plans without me, and shut me out. Tom's face twisted with anger and disbelief. You think you're so clever, don't you? Manipulating me like this? Well, maybe I would have shared the money eventually, but now? You've ruined everything? Emma shook her head, her voice breaking.
No, Tom.
You ruined everything. This was never about the money. It was about trust, and you've shown me that I can't trust you. Tom's anger seemed to deflate, replaced by a look of realization and regret. He sat back down, burying his face in his hands. I thought I was doing the right thing. I don't know what I thought. Tom looked up, his eyes filled with desperation. Emma, please. We can fix this. I made mistakes, but I can change. Just give me another chance. You know I love you. Before all of this, I asked you to be my wife. That cannot be forgotten. Emma felt a pang of sympathy. This inheritance could have been a blessing for both of us, but now I see that I need to use it to build a future on my own. Tom's shoulders slumped, and he slowly looked up at her. You are going to help me out, right? Things have to be paid for. I borrowed money, and people have made investments with me. You tricked me into doing this, so you are going to take care of everything, right? Emma reached out and touched his arm gently. I hope you find what you're looking for, Tom. I really do. But it's time for you to handle the mess you made all by yourself. As Emma sat in her quiet home, a sense of calm washed over her. Her brother, James, kept her updated on Tom's situation. Tom's reputation had taken a significant hit once it became known that the lottery winnings were non-existent. Rumors circulated that Emma had received a large inheritance and that her breakup with Tom was linked to his financial ambitions. Many believed Tom had intended to exploit Emma's newfound wealth. Although the truth was more complicated, James and Emma chose not to clarify the details. Meanwhile, Tom found himself deeply in debt and struggling to maintain his position at work, a shadow of the man he once was. If you found this story of trust, honesty, and the impact of wealth on relationships compelling, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more engaging content. Your support means the world to us.